Hey there, YTPC. It's your boy Cosmo Cat Dead Piper. Hope you're having a great day wherever you find this. Just smoking some Cornellendale Opening Delight from about 3.5 years ago. About halfway, 2/3 way through a bowl. My new Peterson Phoenix 408. Love this pipe. Just recorded a share pipe and hoping to have one or two more bowls, but right now there's a giant cloud overhead. That means I might get wet a little bit, but we'll deal with it. Hopefully it'll be just a drop or two. Anyways, doing this here as a VR for our friends Steph and Skip. They're having multiple GAWs, a Summer GAW extravaganza, if you will. My words, not theirs, but so they have different prompts for different GAWs. You can choose to enter as many as you want. I think there's like 4 or 5 different GAWs. But this is going to be my submission for the first giveaway. So, GAW number 1, I guess you'd say. And what they wanted is, pipe's getting a little warm. They wanted us to talk about or discuss a pre-2000s car that we've owned at some point in our life. Tell us about it, why we liked it, good, bad, ugly. And honestly, that's been about a third of the cars I've owned. I think I'm on my maybe 5th, 6th car. A couple I got rid of due to age, one I got rid of due to a car accident. Actually, 2 I got rid of due to a car accident. One was my fault and no one else was involved. The other one was, no, that one was definitely my fault and somebody was involved. But, anyways, I'm going to talk about the first car I ever owned. Now, this was a hand-me-down car, so to speak. Got it when I turned 16, although my birthday is in November. So I probably, being in Iowa winters, especially when they were more harsh back then, probably didn't drive it around a whole lot until spring. Just because I'm not a big fan of driving. Never have been. It's more of a practical utility thing, as in it gets the job done. Gives me a little bit of freedom to go where I want, when I want. And so this car was, I think, originally my uncle's. He might have bought it used. Racked up some miles on it. Then my parents bought it for my mom, dirt cheap. And then they got a different vehicle when I needed one and passed it on to me. And it was a silver 1984, and we're talking 96, 97, I'm getting it. So it had some years on it, but a 1984 Chevy Nova. Which, I think those cars get a lot of slack, a lot of crap, I guess. Whatever the right word is. Because Nova in Spanish means no-go. And for the most part, up until the point I got rid of it, and we'll have a little story about that, it operated great. It was in okay condition. You know, Nova's a small little car. I believe it was a 4-door, maybe it been a 2-door. I don't remember. But I may have a picture of it as a thumbnail. Who knows? Not the actual, but a representation of it. And I like that it was a small car, so I've pretty much always since then driven smaller vehicles. For example, right now I drive a Kia Soul. And that's probably about one of the bigger cars I've driven. And So I got it, drove it around, worked great. Remember putting little custom CD deck and stereo in the car. One of those ones back in the day where you could pull the face off. Although around here there wasn't really a need for it. Plus people would probably look at my car and think there's nothing of value in there. Which for the most part was true. But pipe might be done, but we'll still keep talking. As I said, for the most part it ran great, and I was in decent shape up until senior year of high school, and then it wasn't. And it was functional, but the body was starting to rust out at the bottom. Oh, my favorite thing about it by far was it was a small car, but it had great steering on it. So that sucker could turn on a dime, better than any car I've ever driven. So you could make some really tight turns, which was great. But it met its demise senior year. And here's the fun story behind the Nova. So, actually, no, it was junior year. So I only drove it for a couple of years, honestly. Junior year prom, had a date. Went with a couple of friends to dinner at this local Italian restaurant. And got done early enough that we had time to kill. So we were going to go over to her parents and hang out for like half hour, an hour, and then go to the dance. And this was the first really big dance for me. I just went to some seasonal ones sophomore year, nothing freshman year. And so we get to my car, and it's, if not pouring, steady raining. Get into the car will not start. Luckily at this point I did have a cell phone, although it was a relatively new thing for me back then, 96, well, 97 I guess, maybe 98. Share both years. But couldn't get the car to start worth anything. Tried calling my parents for a jump. They didn't answer their phone. Tried calling my uncle. He didn't answer. So we ended up calling her dad. Her dad had to come give us a jump. Then we went back to her place for like half an hour. And then we went to prom. After prom, we had post-prom at the local bowling alley. Well, a group of probably about 12 of us were going to my date's best friend's house, because it was only a few blocks away from the bowling alley, to change clothes for post-prom, which went overnight. So, we did that, changed our clothes, and then she was just going to go back to her friend's house afterwards, and I was just going to go home, like 5 o'clock in the morning. And luckily, we had like a casino theme. My parents were blackjack dealers at the event. Post-prom, had a good time, won some prizes. Go in the car to go home, go to bed, and it won't start again. Dad tried jumping it. It was dead as a doornail. So when they took me home, went to bed. Later that afternoon we came back, still couldn't get it started. So we had to get it towed, and at that point it was considered dead, and we were able to basically sell it for close to nothing. I'm sure the buyer was just taking it for parts. And next car after that was a Chevy Cavalier that I got because my mom's cousin owned a nearby car place that took, maybe cars that had been in accidents or used cars and fixing them up. So that was my second car. But anyways, that's the story of the Chevy Nova. That's my VR for you, Steph and Skip. Thank you for doing this GAW. I know you guys are trying to downsize some of your supply, so hope that does it for you. I've been rambling on long enough, but anyways, thanks for watching. God bless, and we'll see you soon.